welcome to today's webinar, where we'll get an exclusive insights to how Magenta Telekom broke down the silos of marketing communications and moved to a transparent, agile collaboration in the marketing communications team. My name is Isabel, and I'll be the moderator today. Before we start, let me just quickly inform you that the session is going to be recorded and that we will send you the recording in the upcoming days. Of course, we have planned a Q&A session, so if you have any questions for our experts, please write them in the GoToWebinar question box, and we will answer as many questions as possible at the end of the presentation. And now let me introduce our experts. I'm very happy to welcome Nina Mack, Head of B2C Brand Communications at Magenta Telekom. Hello, Nina. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. And Nina is also joined by my colleague Viviana, who is a Product Marketing Manager at CELUM. And to save precious time, I will directly hand over to Nina to start our session.
Yeah, then we are going to start. Thank you for joining today. As Isabel said, my name is Nina Mack, and I lead the brand and marketing communication department for the B2C customers at Magenta Telekom in Austria. For those who may not be familiar, Magenta Telekom is a 100% subsidiary of the Deutsche Telekom, headquartered in Vienna, and I manage a team of 12 professionals, each with distinct areas of expertise within the communications department. What can you expect? Today's keynote is titled Transformation of Marketing Communications from Silos to Transparent Successful Collaborations. As I said, what you can expect is a practical example of a team transformation, and I will illustrate how my department, who is often subject to everyone's opinion, who is working advertising can maybe relate that everybody has an opinion about advertisement, and how we can meet the demands of a fast-paced market through an open mindset and a user-friendly collaboration tool. So as why we are here today, it's on CELUM. I just want to introduce my team. As you can see here, when I start with Magenta, my team was very homogeneous in its structure, with many team members having been with the company for over 20 years. They knew all the processes inside and out, highly valuable employees with extensive company knowledge. So very, very good knowledge there on this side. Many of these processes were and still are ritualized. This is critical because in companies and industry that must operate and flexibly in a high demand market, as you can maybe know as we are going into the telco market. Last year, and also maybe this year even more, my team implemented approximately 1,500 different initiatives. This figure only represents the individual topics, not the diverse assets behind each task. You can imagine each project or if issue requires between 5 to 200 unique assets to plan, to brief, to create, and to distribute. Managing resources is essential to handle this workload efficiently. And that is also, I have here on the charts, routines simplify everyday work life. If you need to think about all these 200 single assets, you won't make it to 1,500 project at all. And also the structure, we need this autopilot. But as you know, and maybe also from your company or your department, in the marketing or like the communication, the working processes have been changed a lot. And also, and I mentioned that you can see here from the typewriter till now where you can everything do on your smartphone, even though to manage your assets. And also what you also need to handle is that you have a lot more assets than approximately 10 years ago. And also, as I mentioned, many of my team members have been with the company department for a long time. So it's no surprise that I often heard the phrase, this, we have always done it this way. So I was like not surprised, but was also asking myself, is this a statement? Is this a problem, a symptom, or a solution? What could we going to use this sentence? Because the answers were like, is it a representative of many years of expertise? So it's a statement of expression of independency and rituals, what it certainly is. But also, we hold it on to the patterns that many may no longer be up to date. Like also, I got this answer asking question, or like they were getting this answer also within the other stakeholders in our company. Yeah, almost like we are like a shield in front of them, and they were like, no, I don't wanna think about it because I don't wanna deal with it. Or is it an excessive expression of silo thinking? It was not just in the first glance, it was not particular problem itself, but in the deeper analysis, like in many of employee conversations, we learned, and also current state of analysis is that this approach, this kind of thinking is holding us back. We over the past 5 years, 5 to 7, or even 10 years, there have been significant shifts of external communication, particularly in advertising. We heard that, or we mentioned that. For instance, we no longer have traditional poster placements at the point of sale. Instead, we have screens, very like sustainable. But now I have, instead of one placement, I do up to 5 times more or even higher number content which can be displayed in one single post at times. So it's 5-fold increased the communication points, and this needs to be planned. This needs to be executed. It needs to be done nicely for the customer. You can now probably see where I'm going with this. If we don't adapt our work routines, it won't be possible to handle the upcoming workload efficiently and to everyone's satisfaction. And another specific issue I noted when discussing campaigns with my team, as we reviewed each channel, I'd often hear comments like, oh, I still need to do that, or oh, I think I have an email about that somewhere. So I don't know, because of course also the stakeholder number was rising. So we see here in the analysis of the formal informal process that this approach is relatively inefficient and highly prone to overlook important tasks. So because we have no ownership, we don't have one place single side of truth. Yeah, and I was asking myself, it gave me a clear picture, and you will see what I mean with clear picture, because it gave me the picture that we don't have actually a clear picture of our work. And this realization was both alarming and a symptom of our internal understanding versus external development. So it's like we need to let go of outdated beliefs and work practices. We relied solely on email for communication, stored documents in a rigid one-way folder system, and our data was managed by external agencies. This was far from the transparent, flexible, and agile structure I envisioned. Following these initial findings, we moved on to the second item on our list, communication tools. When I was searching for a suitable collaboration tool, I established the following criteria. First, you need a tool who is intuitive and user-friendly. After attending several product demonstrations, I prioritized this intuitive system despite offering varying settings. It's easy for everyone to use right from the start. The default settings shouldn't be overwhelming and the system should simply work. So what's that mean? A common example of overwhelming a complexity is when users only fill in the half of the information fields, causing essential functions like search to fail. And this is not what I wanted. I don't want that people feel overwhelmed with the system. So the system should be adapting on the needs of the people who are using them. So this brings me to my second point, the accessibility and management. Easy to manage. The tool must be accessible to all project members, whether internal staff or external agencies, without complex IT implications. However, it must still comply, as we are in the European Union, with GDPR. And I, as a department, want to control access management myself without needing to submit IT tickets. Because if it's going to be the heart of my communications collaboration, then it needs to be self-management. And last but not least, on the third point, what I was picking on the ladder is the service level. Given also the high frequency with which we engage in our market, the system must be reliable. When issues arise, I want prompt and straightforward support from dedicated contacts who can resolve problems very quickly. Because nothing is more depressing or puts us back in time in our work as when the system is not working. And this is also very much needed and requested as well. Yeah, and now you certainly ask yourself, and how now come to the point where you implement it. Sure. We now, as I said in the beginning, you need to have rituals, and rituals are very, very hard to change. So it's nothing like what you do in one day and then the other day it's done. No, it's like we needed to clear now our minds and work with the team on a process. We remember at this time where we started this process, there was still no clear picture of how we actually work. We did know that we work because we had an output, but there were no such as identification with the process. So people were saying, yeah, I do a good job, but I wouldn't call it a process. And so we beforehand agreed how we want to approach the tool's implementation. We also decided to group my team into smaller work groups, and these groups we collaborative mapped out how future processes would look and how the tool could support them. We sat down in small groups, facilitated with the CELUM team, and started by asking my team a simple question. What is the process to complete your work? What steps do you take? Interestingly, we discovered that many team members, as I said, didn't perceive their work as process. We also got it on post-its and find or identify the commonalities. because this is what makes it easier to remember and to implement. As you know, and the process of implementing a new ritual is that you need to have as much as similarities as possible, to make it easier on your brain to recognize elements and to put it in your personal routines, and only work with small adaptation. It was a big adaptation anyways, to use another tool, going away from emails to just going in a new environment, and but also with to sit down, set up the process and mirror it in the tool helps, to get a clue what the tool is capable of. Don't get me wrong, there were hiccups and there were plenty of people like, I don't know. And the most concern was, because CELUM is now on a Kanban basis, that others, like our colleagues, our stakeholder on the company, could see our process. So going into transparency was the most fear we had in the team. And as I said before, and this was also my requirement of the service level, and yeah, help we will get from from CELUM to get this right done. And we were like convincing and telling people, okay, we will implement a feature where you can block out people from participating in some columns only. But the thing is that if you are in the process, you need to think about who you want to block out. And this is also another step what your brain needs to do before getting into rituals. So after some months or like even weeks, nobody was using this feature. But we're glad to have it, because sometimes we need to use it, but just only for leading positions who is like not following the rule. And speaking of rules, and this is also something like an etiquette, like how you wanna work together, is that I have three very like, yeah, rules. It's like consistent communication about creatives through the tool. That means that I will not tolerate emails which could be also a question in the tool. I was like, yeah, it sounds rigid, but it needs to be. Otherwise, you will not change rituals. Also, everything is stored in the hub. As I said in the beginning, we had the problem that we had a single like one-way server place where to put it, but now it's need to be in the hub. It needs to be on one single side of truth. And also, and this is also the feature we are using, provide feedback only after you're tagged, or you can say it only if you are asked. So that's how we manage to be transparent. We can only be the transparent to our, let's say, product colleagues if we know they will following this rule, because otherwise we need to block them out, which is very, it's not complicated, but it requires another step. That was really like, as I said, it was not from one day to the other. It needed some time, but it's really like what we achieved over time. And it was really, it needed you as a leader, or in this case me. I was, after the analysis I've done, after the conversations I had, I was convinced that this is the right thing for me and for my team. And I was convinced that this tool, this collaboration tool, will help us. And only with, if you who is implementing, who is like responsible for your resources, your team and stuff like that, are convinced about it, then it will work. Others that I have seen a lot and I've looked at a lot in the beginning, it will not work. And I got, after time, now we're using it almost a year, over a year, for this is our results. We have now ownership of our processes. We know our processes. We have transparency in collaboration. This was one of the hardest thing to get. Don't get me wrong. We have now the overview of our assets and their pathways. We know where they are going, and also we increased the team satisfaction. And as I said, and I want to repeat it a second time, what is needed to achieve such a consistency, motivation, be on it. If you believe in it, then you need to be on it, and flexibility in the tool. So we're now on our way to get a lot of people into the process as well. You see here also, I guess we are now at the moment over 16 or even 70,000 assets stored. We have over 407 different work rooms where people are working together, and over 141 people collaboration one tool. It's one single source of truth. It's like where we can meet our needs, where we can meet the needs of our stakeholders. Yes, and now I'm at the end of my short keynote. I hope you enjoy it, and I guess Viviana, you have some questions to me.
Yes, thank you very much, Nina. I mean, it was a wonderful, short but very concise keynote. I think you have at least inspired me with everything we have learned today, how to manage. Acquiring a new tool is one part of the story, but I think working with your team, setting up processes and all of that is another part of the story, which usually nobody tells. So it was really great to hear your presentation and your experience. And as you already said, I would like to ask 2 questions before we go to the questions from our audience. So please keep writing your questions in the Q&A panel or in the chat, as whatever works for you best. So let's see. To what extent have things improved since the implementation of the new process in CELUM Content Collaboration? And I'm looking for some figures, some numbers that you can explain to all of us about the results of working with CELUM Content Collaboration.
Yeah, one thing to put out is the satisfaction of the team. It's like we do have like a questionnaire where we ask people regularly how are they satisfied or engaged with the company and also the team. And we do have 100% positive agreement on the question, how equipped are you, how with technology to do your job, to get your things done, and getting efficient done. So this, for me, this satisfaction is one of very, like, yeah, telling me we're on the right path. So, and also like that we now also have 16,000 assets stored, and they are ours now, and we're not asking the agency to give it to us. We do know, and every time and given time.
That's great. Do you see a correlation between employee satisfaction and productivity?
Sure. They are telling me, yeah, I love to work with it. They have now everything on their place. And also maybe something out of the box now. We just started our Christmas campaign, and we were this time 3 days earlier with our POS material as usual.
That's great.
Yeah, I would say this also is an effect.
Then I go to my second question. I improvised another one, so in total will be 3 questions. Sorry for that. So to get a better picture about how Magenta is working with CELUM Content Collaboration, could you maybe name 1 or 2 features we have in the tool that really help you and your team getting the most out of CELUM?
Yeah, it was funny to see Actually, you can use it as a task and you give out tasks, but the majority of the communication and the collaboration on it is with the tagging function. So it's like we are communicating in threads, and tag people to get interactions. So because this was replacing emails, as you can say, and you have all in one thing, and also to be able to give feedback on point, like you put your a
The
comment
annotations.
directly in a creative, that makes feedback much more on point. And you can put the versions next to each other. People are always like, if somebody's new starting in my team and I show you then this feature, they're like amazed, because now it's like so much easier to see what the changes are. Like, has there been changes or not? As maybe in further times you need to print it out and put it next to each other and see what has been done. But now this is also a thing people really like.
Great. Thank you very much, Nina, for all the information. And now I'm handing over to Isabel, who will lead the Q&A session.
Hi, thank you very much, Nina, for the really interesting, informative insights. Not very surprisingly, we do have some questions, and I will just start reading them out. Reading glasses. How long did the whole transformation process take you?
If we say it from like searching for a tool till implementation, I would say 1.5 years. And the real implementation where we work for the people that they can work, it was about 2 months, 2.5. And really sit in with the new routines, I would say 1/2 year to just really get into the routines. Don't do it in a hurry. Do it thinking about it and not overwhelming, because people need to getting used to it.
Yeah, but it's still rather quick.
Rather quick.
I would
Yeah,
say.
it depends, of course, how your company is doing things, and how you have the urge to have it. I was rather in a hurry, or not in a hurry. I was like, I want to have it, and I want to have it done, because our mechanisms don't stop. We are like always on, so we need to change something. But I would say all in all, 1.5 years to 2 years, depends when you start thinking about it.
Relating to this, how many sessions you had together with the CELUM team to customize the service? Did you customize the service?
Yeah, approximately we split it in I guess 2-3 major groups, and now we are not finished yet. So we're constantly bringing people in and seeing use cases, but we start to 2 to 5, but we had a contingent of hours, because that was also a crucial part. I've learned in the past, I did some tools in the past in introductions, and it's necessary to have these hours, even if you don't need it at the moment, but you will need it if people are coming new to the team, and be able to have this hour on hand. So on every day, or like whenever you need it, you have it. Because if there, as soon as there is like uncertainties, people are going to fall back to their old system. So you need it to be always. I tell them always, they're like, I don't know how to, and I tell them, okay, then call CELUM, like, and go and ask for them to help you with this special topic. So then you get them safe what they're doing, because they know they can ask.
So there is support from our side to guide you through the implementation process. Wonderful. Then how long does it take to set up a workflow? Is it complicated to do so? I guess, do you need programming skills?
No, it's not.
Right,
You
yes.
need just a little bit of understanding how the tool works. That needs, but you need it anyway. So you need it for email as well. You need to understand it, and there will always be people who are better, and once they are like just using the workrooms they always use and just copy with new, but that's individual if they're like very interested in technique. But you don't need any skills of programming or stuff like that. You just need a basic understanding how the tool works, in my opinion.
Next question, I guess, minding the time, this is going to be the last one. Are there default workrooms, or can one create templates the team can choose from?
Yes, we have templates. We have some, I guess it was the successful was 3 different templates. And in the template, you have a lot of columns, and people are going to individualize how much they need for this project. So it's very easy. And as I said, they're using what they like to use to and build it up. As I said, as a Christmas campaign, we'll have a lot much more columns, or if you don't just only do one measurement for, I don't know, one smaller thing. So yeah, we work with templates.
Congrats, by the way, on the Christmas campaign. It's very nice. I already had the pleasure to see it on various channels.
Thank you.
It's really great. So, well, as I said, that was the last question. If you have any more questions, please feel free to send them to us. Send it to hello@celum.com or to myself, isabel.stingel@celum.com. We are always very happy to receive your questions, your feedback, and I will, of course, forward them to either Nina or to our product team to have them answered to our best knowledge. And that leaves me to say thank you very, very much, Nina, for the interesting information, for the insights, and for reassuring the people out there that a content collaboration tool can be easy to use, easy to implement, and it can actually help teams to perform better. And I think that's the... Thank you so much. Also, thank you, Viviana, for your time and your interesting questions. I hope to see you again soon in one of our webinars. Next one should be coming up in December, also customer insights. So keep visiting our event pages so that you keep track. And have a great day and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.